All right, so we're going to open up Photoshop, and the first thing we want to do is set up our file size. So we're going to go up to the top under the presets, and we're going to change it from untitled to rough draft self-portrait. And then we are going to go with a 16-inch width and a 10-inch height. And we're going to leave the 300 pixels per inch, CMYK color, and the transparent background. And then we're going to go ahead and hit create. Okay, something's not right. Let's go delete that one and go back. Just hit, yeah, close. And then 16-inch width and a 10-inch height. Why are we, oh, can you hit, something is not right here. Go ahead and hit create. There we go. I don't know why the last one, that was very odd. Anyways, so now we're in the right spot. So we're going to create at the 8-inch mark, we're going to create a vertical guide. So go ahead and grab, no, the other way, the other one. So it's a horizontal. So we're going to go click and drag it over till we get to the 8-inch mark. There we go. So now we've divided our image in half. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the file of your self-portrait. So we're just going to go to File, Open. We're not going to put it in here yet. We're just going to open it. And let's find your self-portrait that you'll be using for all your stuff. So we're going to use the same picture for all 3 of the paintings. Okay. And there it is. So now if we go to image size, we're going to see that your picture is probably not 8 by 10. So let's just go up to the top where it says image and then go down to image size. And we're going to check our image size. And so what we see is that we have 41 inches by 39.3 inches and 72 pixels per inch. So we're going to go ahead and just take the height, not the width. And let's make that, because we're going to cut off some of the bottom a little bit. So we're going to have more of just like your head, you know, and not so much of the other stuff. So let's go ahead and change that height to about 16 inches just for the heck of it. And I just want you to see. So see what happens? So you can tell that the image is almost square. And then at the bottom where it says resolution, we're going to increase that to 300. And then we're going to say, okay. All right, and now we're going to command negative or command 0. Right. And now what we want to do is we want to crop this image to be 8 by 10. So over on the left-hand side by your toolbar, on the left side of it, in the third one down, there's a crop symbol. So click on that. And then notice up at the top of your sub-menu bar, it says ratio. Do you see that up at the top?
Yeah.
And then if you click on that, you can change it to different things. So 4 by 6 is the same as 8 by 10. So we want to have an exact 8 by 10 ratio. So go ahead to the 4 by 6 one and click on that. So that's not 8 by 10. Go back and go to the, yes. Okay, there we are. So you see that now when you crop this, no matter what, it will end up 8 by 10. So go ahead and grab one of the corners and let's get rid of some of the headroom. Okay, and then let's bring it up a little bit so we kind of lose some of the, yeah, we want to get your hand in there. And I think that's probably pretty good. Let's bring it down just a little bit more. Nope, there we go. Stop right there. So that looks pretty good. So if you want to slide it over a little bit so your hand is all the way in. And now up at the top, we're going to hit the check mark. And now let's go back to image and image size and let's see what we have. And so it changed it. So now we're going to go back to our width and we're going to go to 8 inches. And so you can see it's 9.999. So you're pretty much right at 10. So that's great. So then we're going to say, okay. And so now we have an 8 by 10 image. Does everyone see how we did that? So now let's go ahead and save this, and we're going to say File, Save As. And it is a JPEG, that's fine. And we're going to change it to 8 by 10. So it says boat selfie 8 by 10. So we know that's our 8 by 10. All right, and now we'll say save. And say okay. And now let's go back to our original image. And let's get off of the right. So just click off of that tool and go to the move tool or something like that. Command Z. Okay. And then let's get off of the crop tool. All right. And now let's bring in our 8 by 10. So we're going to go File, Place, Embedded. Yes. And let's bring in our 8 by 10 and say Place. And notice how it fits kind of really nicely. And let's drag it over to one side. Okay. Actually, let's go to the right side. There we go. And then let's go ahead and click Accept. Wait a second, though. Before we do that, cancel that. Let's make a new layer. And so let's undo that and make sure we're on a separate layer. We just want everything to be on separate layers for this. So yeah, make a new layer down at the bottom of the plus sign and then bring it in there. So same exact thing. And now drag it over and then go ahead and accept. And then we're going to lock it. So we're going to go to our layer and lock that layer. Okay, great. Now let's make another new layer. And at this point, what we want to do is we want to start to create a trace of the image. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to change our foreground color. So we're going to go to our foreground color area and we're going to double click the black. And we're going to make it kind of like a teal blue. So something that we can't mistake for not, being our tracing. And so go ahead and pick that color somewhere up in the corner. It's a little bright, but yeah, something like that. And then say okay. And then grab your brush tool. And then let's make sure our brush is kind of small. So we're going to use our Control Option and kind of drag it down to be somewhat smaller. And then I think you've got it on 8% opacity. Let's put it back up to 100%. So it remembers whatever you had it on last, it will remember. And then let's go to normal. Okay. And now let's zoom in to the head. And this doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be one stroke. It can be, whatever. So we're going to go and we're going to, right. And so let's see if that's small enough. It might need to be a little bit smaller. So we really wanted to, yeah, see, it's too big. So Command Z and let's make it even smaller than that. Yeah, there we go. And now we'll just do like the outside. Let's just do the eyebrow. And you can stop and start. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. So we're just going to put in where the eyebrow is going to be. So a shape. And then we're going to come back and do the bottom part of it. There we go. It's probably a little bit big. You can always go back and erase it and make it better. Then let's go and do the eye. So there's a little crease in the eye. Now, at any point you can make that brush smaller. There you go. And I think you're on kind of an unusual looking brush there. Or no, it's actually okay. And then do the inside, the top of the eye, and so on. And then let's go ahead and make the circle part of the eye. Right. All the things. So we see kind of where that eye sits. And then let's start around the curve of the bottom of the nose. And all the way up to the side. And then let's put in your nostrils. And always make kind of like a shape so you know where things are. There you go. And then see at the side where the shadow is on the side of your nose and it comes down from your eyebrow on the left-hand side. You see that nice little shadow? Go ahead and put that in. Yeah, like, so that's your cheek. But I was like kind of talking, but that's okay. That's fine. So we're not just talking the lines of your face, but really the shadows. So see on the top of the nose how it's kind of darker there? And that, yeah, that area, go ahead and do that side. And so see that whole nice little shape? Okay, and come back up and come back up to the eye and all the way to the eyebrow. And then put the eyebrow in and down. Yep, there you go. And come back. But you see how you're sort of defining like where everything is. So let's go ahead and do the outside of the face, not the hair, but the actual face line. So let's go ahead and put that in. And just come all the way. So you can see we're having a nice tablet could be helpful here. And come right down and come up to the side of the chin. And you can see you could do the darkness around the chin. Go ahead and do right to the edge of the ear and then come back and do the ear. Keep going. Or yeah, you could do it that way. It doesn't really matter. You can stop and start wherever you need to. Because this isn't going to be part of your final drawing. This is just a map so that you can turn your face on and off and you know where things are. Does that make sense to you? Everyone? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so we would continue on with this. And now let's just zoom out for a minute. And we would continue on until we get the whole shape of the form copied. Right? So we would do, and if you can put in like the, different shapes that you see, like where shadows are lighter and darker, or highlights are like the nose, the shadows around the eye, the shadows on the bottom part of the cheek, all of those things, the teeth, everything. So you want to get that whole outline done. And then let's zoom all the way out. And then let's bring in the image. And before we get any further, did you make the face a smart object? Yes. So we already have that as a smart object. That's good. So now we're going to bring in the painting that you're going to emulate. So let's go back and go to File, Place. And let's bring in the first one. So maybe Jamie Korith. That looks kind of interesting. Okay. And so again, we probably aren't going to use that. Let's make sure that's a smart object. So we'll go ahead and accept it. And then let's make it a little bit smaller because we don't want to use up so much space. Okay, that's good. And then let's go ahead and pull it away from, up in the corner. All right. And then see, it's on its own layer. So that's really, really nice. And then what we can do is we can drag that layer down so it's underneath the selfie layer. Okay. And now let's go ahead and grab some color. So let's zoom into her face a little bit. And even more, so we really see what the paint looks like. So you can see sort of the paint strokes in her face. It's somewhat realistic, but not completely. You can still see the brush marks. So especially like in her hair and the area around her hair. So what you could do at this point is you can take your eyedropper and you can start to grab some of those colors. So like if you use if you click on the eye for eyedropper, notice that the thing is letter I will get you fast to the tool. So let's zoom out, Command 0. And then go ahead and grab like her forehead, a color on her forehead. And now hit B for brush. Make your brush bigger. And then go ahead and just make a swatch. Okay, the smart object must be rasterized. Okay, so it wants you to rasterize the object. That's fine. You can always do this on another layer, or you can rasterize. It doesn't matter. And so there you go. So there's your swatch. So that's a little big, but that's fine. Now go hit the letter E again for eyedropper. I rather, yeah. And then go ahead and get another color and go ahead and just keep kind of going around like all the colors that you might need. And then B for brush, and then just put it in. It's really interesting to see what those colors really look like, isn't it? Okay, so now one of the things that we want to do is open up our brush palette. And we want to look at the different brushes that are available to us so that when we start painting, we can, think about how we might change or use different brushes. So we're going to go up to window at the top, and we're going to go down to brushes. And notice that we have this really nice little palette. So let's drag that over to the left-hand side so it's sort of not on your face there. And let's drag it down a little bit so we can see more. So no, I mean open up the length of the palette. There we go. And then let's take a look at wet media brushes. So if we turn them down, we can see there we have like wet blender, we have classic cartoonist, we have thick and thin, impressionist blender, all different types of brushes in there. And I'll put in Adobe free brushes. And then go to free grunge and grit brushes. Try that. There we go. So see how it's under discover? And then here we can start to see a bunch of different brushes. So if you scroll down, you get, it should allow you to download some of these. So see where it says add to library? So keep scrolling. And there's other brushes besides that. There's a lot of them. Keep going. So let's go back, and now where it says featured, just put in, let's look at other brushes besides those. So let's go back to those where you started at the very top where you put in Adobe free brushes. There was like another link, and go to the one underneath that. There. And now scroll down. Let's see what we can find. Because what we want is like an oil brush, like wet brushes. And they changed this a lot, just so you know. Don't go too fast. Keep going. So there's like a, line drawing. Textured. Here we go. Let's try these. The one that says how to free assets. Let's keep going down. I don't know if that's going to be the one, because I don't see where we can download them is my problem here. So those are all the free brush sets in that one brush set. So keep going. There's a lot. Let's just try one. There we go. Let's try these, the ones that are at the bottom there. See if, click on that. See if you can get that to open. And now download. And is it downloading?
Yeah, it's like halfway done.
Okay. And then once it downloads, it should be, we should be able to open it and add it to your Photoshop file. And then we should be able to see it when we go into the brush presets. So that's the Impressionist Creators Couture. Click on that. and go ahead and double click that. And then open up where it says the master's palette, or the brushes one, I believe. The other one, I think. The first one. Double click that. And then now they should download into your, there they are. So turn them down. And now, that took a minute. Let's try one of those. Like maybe that second Impressionist Creator brush. That one looks pretty cool. The one that's like up at the top and it's the second one over. Yeah. And now paint. Are we getting anything?
I'm not seeing anything.
Oh man, I don't know why you're having so much issues here. Okay. Oh, can you turn off that remove background? I don't know what that's on. Can you turn that generative AI off? So click on the three buttons and just turn that off. Hide bar. There we go. And okay. And now I am not sure why we're not seeing anything. I don't understand why we're not seeing anything. Go to the top layer 2 where there's nothing on it. And make your brush really big. And you're not getting anything. So why is it normal? The brush is 409. I mean, I see no reason that you shouldn't be painting. Okay, open up a new file. File new. Just go ahead and open it. Now paint. Okay, see, that's just weird.
I think it's because she has the smudge tool highlighted and not the brush tool highlighted.
Oh,
Oh
hello.
my gosh, thank you.
So we just
Thank
went
you.
all through all that for nothing. Okay. I was like freaking out. I love you guys so much, honestly.
Okay.
All right. So there you have it. So now, you know, the thing about this, when you're using the brush, when you're using the brushes, you want to think about size. So let's go back in there and go underneath the girl, like underneath the blue layer. So see the blue layer? So which, yeah, turn the girl off. Turn the girl off. No, the girl, you. Yes. So now, and then you don't ever want to paint on this layer because you want to keep that layer intact, right? Because that's your image layer. So what you can do is up at the top, you see where the locks are? You got this pixels, that's transparent pixel lock. Then you have brush lock, then you have move lock, then you have this is your artboards if you make multiple artboards, and then you have the full lock. So we want to go to the layer that the girl is on with the blue face, right? So that's the one we're on. Or no?
I turned off this one, but this is
Okay, turn that one off. So it's not that one. It's that one.
this one.
So mark that one as your outline so you know it. Okay, and then make put the brush lock on that one. So that means you'll never paint on it, right? So now you can keep that where it is, and then you can paint underneath it on the face layer. So go to the face layer, and now go ahead and start to make a small brush and paint, and bring the girl back in, bring yourself back in. And now you can start trying to find some of those colors. And pick, that might be, yeah. You see how big your brush is? Too big, yeah. So this takes a little adjustments, and you know, you can see how much lighter that is. Now you can look at your face on the girl that you're trying to emulate, and I'm going to bet that that's not the right color for that area. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and now try that. And think about what shapes are in your face. And now go ahead and paint. Yeah, there you go. And that might be a little bit too bright, but you can always come back over it. Now, here's the thing. What if you went up to the top and changed the opacity? So go up to the top layer and change the opacity and drop it down to maybe 50%, and then grab the darker color. I drop. So remember that letter I is your fast key, and come over the top of it. So that, I don't think that gray is working for you. So Command Z, and now go to the brownish color. Letter I, B for brush, and back. There we go. Now come right over the top of that real light color that you painted. So see the difference between where you painted it straight and you painted the other?
Yeah.
See how that can blend?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the trick. That's what you're going for. You're going to keep going back and forth and trying to figure out. So like the color that you have there, you know, you'll notice that if you look at your face compared to the person you want to paint's face, see how dark her right side of her face is? And your sunlight's coming from the opposite direction. You know, so your sun is coming from the right side of the face, where her lightest side is the left side of the face. So that's definitely an issue that you have to be aware of. And don't forget, now you've got your opacity down to 50%. Yep. Right? See how dark that is? So you probably, to make this work, would want to flip that other image so that the face, because otherwise it's going to be very confusing for you to try to make it feel like that dark shadow is coming from the right side of the face. So you might want to go to that layer and click on that, and then go to Edit, Transform, and Flip Horizontal. There we go. So now you'll have the dark side on the dark side, the light side. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She feels like she's more kind of going in the same direction as your stuff in your hair. So, again, once you kind of get into it, it's definitely going to go faster. You're going to see that like the pictures that you pick and the picture your selfie, I often tell students don't do a lot of teeth. Just because it's difficult. But you know, to kind of go over how we got to those brushes again, let's just do that really quickly. So we went into our browser, and then we typed in free brushes, right? And then we went to the blending brushes. We kind of scrolled all the way down. It opened up Adobe for us because you were signed in and it recognized that. And then we scrolled all the way down until we found these particular brushes. Now there's more brushes than that. So my suggestion to you is download a bunch of them and try different ones as you move through. There's a lot of, so we can zoom right into your face. Like if we click back off and zoom in really tight to your face, you can see even more. You can see where, yes, and so zoom over to where we were painting. So you can see where, like how much, you know, your color changes are. So at some point, what some students like doing too is actually picking for one that looks more natural, like the one that you're trying to paint, is picking some of the skin tones from the face itself and then putting those on a brush. So let's try that. Let's go to the letter I and see if you can't pick on the bottom of the chin there, that darker color. And now go ahead and brush kind of the edge of your chin line. Now we didn't paint those in, we didn't put our blue in. So remember, you've got to be on the right layer. The face layer. There we go. So it takes some getting used to, and big broad strokes are not always the way to go. Small, you know, like working your way up in color rather than big fat strokes are definitely going to be a better way, or dropping your opacity down so that you can layer things up. And also, the other thing is, don't forget that you have blending modes on your brushes too. And you can also change the flow. So right now you've got the flow at 100%. So if we drop the flow down, that means that there's less paint on your brush. So let's take a look at what that might look like. And let's come back over and do some painting. So see how it's kind of like almost like spotted there? It's got a whole different look to it. And now grab your eyedropper. So I, letter I, and click and get that lighter color. And then go ahead, hit your B for brush and come back over the top of that area that was real dark brown. Not all of it, but just like that, right where you just were. Yeah, hit Command Z. There we go. And now go right up there. There we go. See how it's very subtle, but you can see how you can start to make the paint look like paint. All right, so we'll stop for there.